All right, Elle. Nope, just kidding. My mic's not working. Hang on. Hang on. Wait for it. And um, there we go. There we go. Now we're good. Okay. All right, Elle. What do you say? We take it to the max. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you traveling all over the world this week?
I am traveling all over the world this week. I am literally everywhere, but I'm hanging in. I'm hanging in. This is trip number 44 for me this year. I'm in Pasadena for the California Mortgage Expo that's here, and it's looking like it's going to be a really fantastic event. So we love that. Um, I wanted to have you on today for a couple of reasons. One, let me properly intro you. You are Elle Muse. You are the Vice President of Education for Maxclass. You and I have worked together now for about a decade. You joined us at a previous company. I had been there for a little bit when you came on, and naturally just fell in love with your content capabilities. You are one of the best project managers I've ever seen or known in my career. You have become a baby developer. You have become an LMS expert, not to mention just the way that you put all of our content together is a magical, incredible skill and expertise all within itself. So we are beyond blessed to have you on the Max Class team. And we have some really cool things in store for 2026. Walk me through what our topics of education are going to be next year.
Yeah, I mean, we have so much happening at Max Class all the time, always innovating, always creating new stuff. So it's never a dull moment. And that's one thing I love about Max Class. Never a dull moment over here
Literally
at all.
never. There's no free time ever.
No. And it's been amazing because it's stretched my abilities to learn new things. And we love that. So CE for next year, 2026, we're going to talk about LO compensation. It's a big deal. People are talking about it. Like
Huge deal.
it's been a long round forever, yet we're still talking about it. Um, so we're going to talk about LO comp. We're going to dive into marketing and advertising because I feel like that is one of the top things that we're asked to talk about every single year. Everyone wants to
Agreed.
know, how do I market compliantly and still have good marketing? Because that's a
Yeah,
concern, right? Um,
for sure.
we're going to talk about cybersecurity because everyone loves a good cybersecurity story, good cybersecurity tips and tricks, best practices. What can I do or you do as a loan officer to protect your borrower's information? So we're going to talk about that. Always got to cover that BSA AML training in there because we all have to learn about that every year. We're also going to talk about financial literacy and fair lending, kind of taking an approach of more a data focused look at fair lending and how you can know, am I lending fairly? Is there something I need to think about doing differently about how I'm running my business? And then we kind of looked through all the feedback we've gotten so far just in 2025 about the things that people want to learn more about. And overwhelmingly, the two things they wanted to know more about were non QM, which it's no shock. It's become a very
None
popular
whatsoever. Non-QM
lecture
has
and
been
product.
carrying, yes, they've
Yes.
been carrying this industry for a minute.
Yep. So we're going to talk about non QM and we're going to talk about energy efficient mortgages or EEMs. I was kind of shocked by the interest in that one, but you know what? There are a lot of interesting programs out there centered around that. And I think it'll be hopefully eye opening and something that you guys can look forward to learning more about next year.
Absolutely. One thing that we are really pushing right now, making a very strong push for, is we need MLO contributions for the general elective hour that we're
We
doing.
do.
So we are doing sticky situations, which sticky situations, what we're looking for, we want just kind of those off scenarios that you as LOs are coming up against. Maybe it's about an actual loan scenario. Maybe it's about a borrower. Maybe it's about a red flag that you had come across on a file and want clarification as to if it was actually a red flag. Maybe it is another compliance concern. We want to hear from MLOs on what sticky situations you're seeing in the industry right now. And we're literally building out a 1 hour elective course based on that feedback. What else would you kind of like to see from people who are submitting these
Yeah.
situations to
I
us?
mean, for me, with sticky situations, I'd love to see what are the hard things that you work through on these files to get them to close, or what were the files that ultimately you weren't able to figure out a solution to. Maybe, crowdsource
Yeah.
it out there to all of the people that are taking CE this year. Maybe someone has an idea or has a thought about how that situation could have turned out differently for that particular borrower in that particular situation. So I think that that's really the gist of what we're trying to do with sticky situations. We're trying to kind of bring us together as like a community and bring those hard kind of think tank like questions and put a lot of brains to it, to get those solutions out there.
I really hope this goes the way that we want it to go so that we can continue to revitalize it and bring it back because I love the idea. I know this has been kind of my master formulation from the beginning. We really want to treat Maxclass as a master class for LOs. We want you to know that the information that you're getting from us is the most up to date, regulatory, compliant information that you are going to find out there. But at the same time, we also want to give you those practical application tips and tricks of how you can and should be running your business and what other people are doing right now to find success or what other people have done that you need to learn from so as to hopefully not repeat their mistakes. So I really hope that this is successful and that it does what we want it to do. I think there's a very good possibility that it's going to be kind of a recurring theme for us. What else is on your mind right now? What other things are you kind of thinking about with the industry at the moment?
I mean, I feel like kind of sticky situations is super timely, and that's kind of where it came from. I feel like when we were talking
Mhm.
about what we wanted to do for our elective, and you've said this over and over again, but we don't want to just be your every other provider that's out there. We want you to participate in what it is that you're learning and learning about the things that you want to learn about. So, trying to do the
Yes.
best that we can within the parameters that are set for us by the NMLS to cover the things that are interesting for you. I mean, we're constantly on, on social media, on, looking at the news, watching what's going out there. So we're trying to be as up to date as we possibly can and provide that, up to the minute as best as we can information on what's going on within our lovely parameters that exist out there for us providers.
I
But
think
I
that's
think that
something that
opens
we
the
can.
door, right?
Yeah, yes. And I think that's something that we can kind of touch on and clarify right now for people. So we both have been working. How long have you been working like in the NMLS education sphere?
14 years, I think now.
Right? Like we are right there with each other. I'm in my 15th year right now. So we both have been in this space for well over a decade. And for me, this is my like, I even hate to say this number because it makes me fact check my age, and I hate that feeling, but this is my 22nd year working in this industry, and it's such an area of passion for me. I really am so passionate and so I'm such a believer in advocating for the housing ecosystem, as my good friend Kobe Hackler termed it, and I will forever give him credit for using that term. But the housing ecosystem as a whole, and I think as we are moving along, as AI is advancing, as technology is really just revolutionizing the way that people are going about doing their loans and handling their consumer bases, we need now more than ever to be thinking outside of the box. We need to know where our time and our money and our resources are best spent. We need to know what the future is going to look like, or how we can, at least to the best of our ability, try to predict what may be coming. I know, again, none of us have a crystal ball, but there are patterns that emerge within this industry. And I think it's really important that we pay attention to them. That whole tangent was to say there's a lot that we've seen over our timeline here. There are a lot of misconceptions about what we as an education provider, an NMLS education provider, can do. And having that NMLS approval is what makes us and gives us the authority to offer pre-licensed education, continuing ed. There are other people out there who provide it, you just don't get credit for it, right? Not true experts, so don't be going to those people. But we we have really been around the block. We know this industry inside and out, and I think it's important people know that when you're an NMLS approved education provider, you do have very strict guidelines and regulations that you have to adhere to, just like what you have to within the mortgage industry. You have your state regulators that you are also bound by. We do too. So we really are all kind of in this regulatory world together. But as an education provider, even though we have the outlined parameters that the NMLS gives us to stay within, we have the authority to determine what education we want to come up with. It's not just every provider offers the same CE. We all get to put our own spin on it. And that's why over the last year and a half, we really have been on this mission of revitalizing the way that people look at their continuing education. And what's so fun is in 2026, we're about to start offering our pre-license education so that we can help to kind of mold those incoming minds. So just really excited, really pumped for what we have going forward. What what do you feel like the hot topics are going to be in 2026?
I mean, there's a lot of interest in AI. Artificial intelligence is out there. It's everywhere. Everyone's using it for, 5 different tasks that they're outsourcing to AI. And I think that there's a right way and a wrong way to be using it. And I think that that is a big question mark, and it's an ongoing situation with regulatory frameworks and that sort of thing, kind of still being built around that. So I think we're going to be still hearing a
Absolutely.
lot about that, still talking a lot about that. Another big one that I was really surprised by that people were super interested in this last year, that we're coming out hopefully with a compliance course on this coming year in 2026, but crypto. Everyone wants to know about cryptocurrency, how it impacts or could impact not only the mortgage industry, but real estate. So we've been kind of diving into some of those more timely topics in a forum like compliance courses or professional development, where we have a little bit more freedom to cover those topics in more detail. So that's
Yeah.
honestly a really great thing that we're doing at Maxclass is really jumping on that bandwagon and trying to get as much out there as we can outside of what we're doing with the NMLS stuff.
I think that's an important distinction to make right there is when a course is NMLS approved, again, it has to follow very specific parameters. We are branching more so in, I shouldn't say more so because we're always going to be NMLS education, but we are going to be branching into professional development and compliance trainings and really doing what we can to take the legalese out of it and make it more real talk. Make it straight talk, make it applicable to what LOs actually need to know, what your LOAs need to know, what your processors need to know, so that it's not just us regurgitating a policy and procedure to you. It's actually getting a breakdown of why these rules and regulations are important for you to know and having that context behind them so that people can follow the rules, do things correctly, hopefully avoid any type of potential audit on them, right? Like that's really what we want. We want to help to propel this industry forward by providing the best education that we can. So again, please send us those sticky situations. We would love to hear them. We There's a lot going on right now that I feel like people have questions on and want information on and maybe are just a little too afraid to ask. So this is the perfect opportunity to do that. What do you think what would you say is like a good piece of advice for any LO out there right now on how to kind of get ahead of what's coming up over the next year? What's your advice to them?
I feel like this is going to be a real standard answer, maybe a little bit too on the nose, but honestly, learn, read, take classes, get out there and listen to the experts, follow them on LinkedIn, listen to the podcasts, get out there and learn because that is the only way you're going to get ahead, stay ahead, and be able to continue to be successful. I feel like in this business as we move forward. And that's another thing at Maxclass we're trying to do. I mean, LaDonna, you have your experts, your interviews, your Max Convos. That's all part of what we do here and in our education is bring the experts to you in that forum. So, yeah, no, I think my piece of advice is stay educated and always take it to
Yeah.
the max, as LaDonna says.
Oh, love it. Love it. We got to take it to the max as an industry, especially coming up there. It's a funky time in the industry right now, but I have a lot of hope for 2026. I think we've been in this normalization market a little bit longer, and now that people have realized that this is just the new norm, they are starting to make some of those moves that we've been waiting on. And as we all know, the market very much goes in cycles. Right now, we're in a little bit more of a holding market, but it's not going to stay that way for much longer. I think 2026, sure, maybe we're not going to get a drastic drop in rates, but even just a little bit will help. If we can get a point knocked off, we're in a good place. So I have a lot of hope for the upcoming year. Something that I want to make sure to touch on right now, just because it is timely, it is renewal season. So that means if you have active licenses that you are interested in renewing, you want to make sure that you are doing that now. How do you do that? Well, make sure you have your continuing education completed for all the states that you're licensed in. From there, Once those hours are reported, you're going to sign into your NMLS account. You're going to renew and attest and pay. Again, I will double and triple down on this point. As your education partner, we do not pay your fees for you. We do not renew your license for you. We don't pay your late fees if you didn't renew your license on time. That is your license. Make sure you renew it. We have to renew ours. You have to renew yours. That's just the way the world works. So make sure, get that education done, get those renewals submitted, get it done and off of your plate. The renewal period opened on November 1st. Get it done. Don't wait until the holidays. As a matter of fact, waiting even one more month puts your licenses at jeopardy for not being renewed in time. So it really is worth it to just jump in there, get it done, move on with your life, and enjoy your holidays. Well, we are just about out of time, but I'm curious as to, with your role here at Maxclass, what are you most excited about by way of terms of development, innovation, impact, etc. for next year?
Goodness. I mean, we are just cranking out the content over here at Maxclass, and I am super excited for PE to launch, our pre-license education to launch, next year, and
Yes.
for that to be kind of an open door ability for you guys, not just to renew your licenses with us, but come to us when you're looking to get a new license in a new state and expand your horizons, because that's what we want to be, a full service education provider.
We are well on our way, and so much of that I can attribute back to you. I tell you all the time, and I will tell you until the bitter end. I could not do this without you. You really are the backbone to this company, and I am just so, so grateful for you. And you're also just one of my favorite people. You really are. Like, it's been so great to build up this Max Class team of women. I mean, it's all women at the moment that I just love and adore and want to champion for, and who I know catch my vision of what we know an education provider should be, can be, will be. And the more that we continue to level up, the more that our competitors will be forced to do the same. And I live for that. I really do. I think when we all rise up as an industry as a whole, we all become better. And that, nothing makes me happier than that. So for the you have had, if you've taken a class or a compliance training from Max Class, I got news for you. That content came from Elle. If you've taken it from other providers, there's a good possibility it came from Elle too. So we are so, so grateful for you. Thank you again for everything that you do. And I mean, as always, let's roll. Let's keep taking this to the max.
Every day, all day. You know that's my motto right there.
You're the best. All right. Thanks, Elle.
Thanks.